Have you ever stopped to consider what role technology plays in your daily life? If you take your day, you can think about it as a series of tasks. Each one of these tasks can be broken down further into either a decision followed by an action, or an action followed by a decision. Traditionally, technology either makes an action easier or aids in the decision-making process. To take, for example, a simplified version of your morning commute, you pick a route and then you drive that route to work. GPS, for example, can help you choose a route, and your car helps you get there. In both steps of your commute, you're in control of what happens. You ultimately choose the route and you are driving the car. You have input. But what happens if a technology was able to both make a decision and take an action without your input? How would you make that technology safe? That technology does exist today, and it is called artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence, however, has some pretty significant flaws. AI tends to obscure or abstract how it is making decisions. We call this hidden process a black box, meaning we cannot see inside of it. AI also is very susceptible to issues resulting from how it is trained, a problem that is made worse by its black box nature of decision making. This can take many forms, from data-induced bias to the system not being able to handle situations similar to, but not directly covered in its training regime. This means AI can be considered brittle, as it cannot bend to match new challenges as it faces them. So what happens when AI fails? One example is hallucinations, which are when an AI attempts to fill gaps in its training, but does so incorrectly. An example of this would be fake legal cases, as was the result last year when Steven Swartz and Peter Ladoka, two New York City lawyers, used ChatGPT to help research facts for a legal case. The brief they presented to the judge, which was generated partially by ChatGPT, included legal cases as precedent that were not real. These were hallucinations. The judge fined them and made a statement about AI and law. This case, obviously, humiliating for the lawyers, but shows a problem in large language model style AI. What about integrated AI? These can fail and produce unwanted system behaviors. When a system encounters a situation it was not trained for, it can break and it can fail in an unwanted and potentially dangerous way. One example of this would be Cruise robo-taxis, which recently struck a pedestrian that had been knocked into its path by a different vehicle and drugged that pedestrian for 40 or so feet, seriously injuring them. These factors mean we need to strive to develop more robust and safer artificial intelligence. We need responsible artificial intelligence. So what is responsible AI? Responsible AI is an approach to developing artificial intelligence that attempts to address the ethical and safety-related issues of a traditional brittle AI. Responsible AI places an emphasis on transparency, safety, and fairness during the development process. This can help to reduce the kind of failures previously mentioned. One core tenet of this is transparency. The decision-making process of a responsible AI needs to be clearly defined, based in reason, be viewable, i.e. no black box solutions, and well understood. Another core tenet is safety. The decision-making process of a responsible AI needs to put human safety above all other factors, as well as fail in such a way that it's safe. For example, if the taxi stopping when it encounters an anomaly. Another core tenet is fairness. The decision-making process of a responsible AI needs to consider bias that exists in pre-existing data and account for that bias when making decisions, as well as ensure the answers given cover concepts and situations it has been built for. This is an aspect of failing safe. An example would be if asked to produce data that it does not know, returning a null value rather than making data up. Why does this matter now? Artificial intelligence will become more ingrained in our everyday lives as technology improves, meaning this should be relevant to everybody. We must ensure that we design systems that are safe now to minimize the chance of catastrophe in the future. This is especially true because government regulation on AI has fallen behind the current technology, meaning that as engineers and software developers and scientists, we must be thinking ahead. If you would like to do any more reading, here are a list of references used for this video.